Do you know what's worse than a death cross? A mega death cross, and Ethereum just got it. Let's take a look at what that means, what it's done before, and where this shit might bounce. Are you ready? I asked you a question. Are you ready? Let's go! Behold the mega death cross. This is the weekly chart. The red line is the weekly 10. The yellow line is the weekly 21 EMA, exponential moving average, simply similar to a moving average. So when they cross down, bad, cross down, bad, cross down, bad. 3 times, each time, bad. Cross down here, bad. Does it have a chance to turn into a skim play like it did here? Yes. But typically, when it does a skim play and it happens the second time, like back here, and assets with more price history, it gets it the second time. And it has significant downside. So it's not good to have 2 skim plays in a row because the second one has a better chance, even with other assets with more price history, it has a better chance of going down, right? And look at it, it's already crossed. Nope, I guess technically it hasn't. So I guess we do have a little bit of a saving grace here, but look where price is. Boom, way down there. So it's going to cross unless there's some like mega crazy rally, but it's simply not really in the cards. So if it is in the cards, let's take a look. I'm going to put on a macro range and let's take a look at where this is going to bounce. And I'm going to tell you my exact target where I think this is going to go, and specifically the 2 to 3 price paths, right? So not a price prediction, but a prediction of how price will move, which is technically a price prediction. I get so much crap for that. Where's the prediction? I just told you how price is going to move. That means that's where price is going to go. It's my prediction. So this is a price path prediction, but with my specific prediction of a target, I will also give you the paths with which I think it can get there and where we're likely going to see a bounce. All right. So before we get in there, make sure you take a quick second here and help me out to hit the like button. It's going to continue or help me continue making videos for you. Also, leave me a random comment down below or you're going to stub your toe. I didn't think of a good rhyme that time. And again, that all helps me. What helps you is to hit that bell because this is time sensitive stuff. Your money's in crypto, so if you want me to deliver this stuff to you in a time-sensitive fashion, smash the bell for me. We're in this together. Make sure you hit that, and let's dive back into the charts. Follow me on Twitter at @ClosestFairToThese2. Watch out for my clone scammer, @ClosestFairToThese3. That's not me. If you are not a fan of online communities, but you want more exclusive content above and beyond YouTube, go ahead and hit the join button below this video in order to explore more options. If you want to be able to turn on your microphone and camera and ask me questions directly and live, check out the links to the Discord community in the description section. All right, hopefully my sound is better. I am reformatting a large external hard drive, and it seems to be messing with my audio for some reason. So I apologize for my last video. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I haven't changed anything. So hopefully this one sounds a little better. All right. So mega death cross. Now, this is your mega range here. So this is your macro range. It's similar to Bitcoin's roughly 100% range. So this is about 150% range. And then Bitcoin's from, 30 to 60 roughly is another 100% range. So this is equivalent. So if Bitcoin hits 30K, Ethereum will likely hit somewhere down here, right? Okay, so currently Bitcoin is within its point of control box and Ethereum is lagging behind it as it usually does, right? But as things keep going down, Ethereum then passes Bitcoin. But right now it's at the juncture where Bitcoin is here and Ethereum is here. And typically they switch spots like this, and then Bitcoin is not as far down on a percentage basis from its all-time high. So I think what could happen is they're getting ready to switch places. Ethereum's still lagging behind Bitcoin on this fall, and I think they're getting ready to flip. All right, and I think Bitcoin dominance is going to go up. But Ethereum chart, just for Ethereum chart, it technically does have permission to bounce, which means altcoins, large caps can bounce as well. So just like my 5/8 line on Bitcoin, which I told you not to make fun of, even though I had a fake out to the upside, I said, can't get above and stay above until it touches the point of control or the next bounce point, right? So I used the dolphin. So a dolphin, okay, if this is the surface of the water, a dolphin can't get a big jump out of the water and leap up, like you're the little mermaid swimming with dolphins, right? So act like you're a merman or a mermaid or a moon, not a moon moon boy or moon girl, and the dolphins have to go down first and then get speed to break above the surface of the water. So it technically has permission to do that, and Bitcoin has come down here roughly, so it also has permission to go. So the price path that I have to get to my target of 2650, I think I really don't see any large rally of the market, even in Bitcoin, until Ethereum hits 2650 or 2700, somewhere around that point. But I'm guessing 2650. I think it has to hit the bottom here because that is going to align. Let's get on a different chart so you can see the points of congruence a little bit better. I think it needs to test either the bottom of this structure or the tops of these two here. Okay, these guys right here is like super support, and this is pretty good too, but I think you're going to get a wick down there. So I think it's ultimately going to find support similar to how Bitcoin is finding support, you know, equivalent to this area back in September, late September. This is where Bitcoin is right now, okay? And Ethereum hasn't hit that yet. So I don't think, you know, the market can sort itself out for a bounce until they're not necessarily Bitcoin and Ethereum switched or flipped roles, with Ethereum not as far down as Bitcoin, but I think they need to be on par with each other. And I think once Ethereum hits that, Bitcoin dominance will rise just enough where Bitcoin is also hitting the point of control with Ethereum, and then you can get a bounce. That's my more major prediction. So with that key idea in mind, okay, I'm going to show you the price paths that Ethereum and, you know, Solana and all the stuff that follows it could take in order to get to 2650. All right, but 2650 is probably going to be it, folks. And it might not be January, but I have this out till mid-March. So it's either going to be between, you know, this month to mid-March. It's probably going to be hit. So here are the options. Since Ethereum does have permission technically to bounce, and so does Bitcoin. Bitcoin could go up to about 44K. Ethereum gets somewhere, you know, around 3,600. Or 3,400, somewhere in this zone right here, okay, between this dotted line and this line, 34 to 3,600, and then it comes down and tests this area sometime in February or March, okay? That is price path number one. All right. Now, is this the point where everything's going to go up? No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just telling you, like the first few months of the year, this is, I think, was what's by far most probable to happen, especially with that mega death cross. All right. So, and again, that price path is based on the idea that Ethereum does have permission, and so does Bitcoin. Therefore, they could get a small rally. Now, the reason I don't think they can get a big rally is because Ethereum hasn't tested fully down here. It hasn't hit its point of control. Typically, you don't get a massive rally off of this. Just barely nicking it. So let's zoom into that area down to even to the 15-minute chart here, so you can see what I'm talking about. See that? It just barely grazed it. Barely grazed it, right? All right, so, but it does have permission, so that is my first guess. And because it has permission, but it doesn't have like full throttle, you know, of a bounce, if it bounces here, I only think Bitcoin will go up to 44K. And if you want to know why that is independent on an independent structure, why that makes perfect sense just for Bitcoin on Bitcoin's chart, you need to watch my Bitcoin video. I'll link that to you at the end of this one right here. All right, so that's the first price path. The second price path is if things just flounder here and all Bitcoin does, so Bitcoin is right now below its 2-day 200 EMA. Even though I am on the Ethereum chart, I'm not going to flip to Bitcoin. Just want to show you this. So Bitcoin is under its orange line and Ethereum's above. Okay, so another reason why, you know, Ethereum is lagging behind. It's not at the same point Bitcoin is on its EMAs, weekly structure, point of control, anything. So if Bitcoin, instead of going 44K, just bounces its head up here, like we're closer to 42, well, what could happen is, you know, you could just like flounder around in here a little bit, maybe, you know, come up shy, only hit like 3250 or something to that effect, and then come back down here and fail and hit this more, you know, quickly, maybe even late January or early February. So you have a moderate bounce up to here as option one, a small bounce as option two, or you only have bounces on about the 4-hour chart, but nothing really significant on the daily. And it just keeps working its way down, more of a straight path, and you form a channel. So let's make a guess of what the channel might look like. But to do that, I'm going to take off the EMAs and I'm going to put on the 1-hour chart. And let's take a guess of what a downward channel. And remember, freaking Bitcoin and Ethereum just spent over a month in a downside channel. They're going to happen again, right? So I'm making a guess of what that might look like if that is to happen. So a downside channel, something like I will give 2 options. And I will take off my mega range on here, just so we're not getting so. But I'll keep that small target box on here. So I'll take off my range. All right, since I already have more of an exact price point within the range noted by this box. All right. And I would assume that this was a fake out where price got on top of the range, used it as support here, gave one more pump, then broke back into it. So I think from here to here was a fake out, just like what happened on Bitcoin. All right. So let's cut through there like this. And let's say that actually got on top and then failed right there. All right. So I think what happened was, it was in a channel, it broke out, used it as support, gave one more push, failed, came right back in, used the top as resistance, is now back in this channel. I think that's just what's happening. So if this channel, stays a channel, which right now it might be the most probable thing. Ethereum's just going to freaking march right down here, folks. And it's going to happen, by January, 15th plus or minus 5 days. So between the 10th and the 20th, between January 10th and 20th. Okay, but my brain works with a middle point and a plus and minus on both sides. But more normal brains 10. So January 10 to 20 is when it's probably going to hit this. All right, and so the earliest that I would assume it would hit it without like further aggressive downside. So if it just kind of flounders down, I guess that's still January 17th. So to the 20th, yeah. So 10th is a little early. So maybe I would tighten my guess. I would say 15th to the 20th. I would actually only give it a 5-day range if it were to stay in this channel. All right. And so that's the third option. It keeps floating in this dang channel. And that it might happen really fast, folks, because look, take a look at this weekly mega death cross. So I'm going to put that back on. And all right. So remember, we looked at this without price, right? And we know it's bad. So that cross is bad. All right, so let's look at the other times it's crossed. Look, so crossed here, coronavirus, straight down, crossed here, okay? So kind of like now, it was below it all, and then it crossed, and it did have a little rally, right? But ultimately, it went much, much, much lower. And so this would be the equivalent of coming up to about 3,600. So if we do get a little rally here up by the 10 EMA after a few weeks, then it's not going to hit that target until March. So watch, take a look. If the 21 EMA is like this, and I'll make this yellow here in a second, that's the slope. Watch. Look. And it just kind of flounders, has a rally, and then comes back down. It still hits that box, but it's in March, right? And if I put my mega range back on, look, this all, guys, like in gals, I mean, are you seeing this? This all aligns. Oop. Yeah, that was it right there. Look. And that aligns with being between these two lines, exactly like I said at the very beginning for my first guess. The larger bounce, if Bitcoin truly does go up to 44K or 45 or whatever, it's going to land somewhere right there. And that would be almost exactly from an EMA perspective, exactly what happened in that reiteration back here. And there are only 3. So exactly this, right? And so I'm using a different form of analysis to show you the price path, the path with which Ethereum and most altcoins are going to move. And it's the same as what happened in the recent past, or fairly recent past, a couple years ago, right? Under the same circumstances of a mega death cross. This isn't a coincidence. It's just how price moves. And I'm trying to show you, like, this stuff is really probable to happen. Is it guaranteed to happen? No. But it's by far the most probable thing. Please listen to me. There's no other wave of retail. Large caps, layer 1s and layer 2s are, okay, in my opinion, they're overvalued. But even if you don't think their market cap's too big, right? Okay, you think that, Avalanche is a multi-billion-dollar company, right? And you think Solana should be valued more than Ford Motor Company, which actually it's just under right now, but bigger than like Honda or something. Maybe it's smaller than Honda too, Hyundai, but bigger than automakers, right? If you think it deserves to be bigger than large automakers, okay, even with that, this is still likely in that mindset, even if you don't think they're overvalued, because you know it's a large market cap, right? Okay, so things like Solana and Ethereum, large market caps. The larger the market cap, the more money it takes to move it up, right? You have to, I mean, come on. If you don't follow this logic, at least agree with that to some degree, then I don't know, I can't help you. So just follow along. So even if you don't think they're overvalued, these large layer ones, right? It takes more money to move them up, all right? But there's no new blood in crypto. What brings new blood in crypto? When people outside start hearing about how people are making money. That's the only thing that brings people to crypto outside of Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to separate from pretty much all altcoins. I think it's going to decouple from altcoins, but altcoins are going down as Bitcoin goes up. That's my opinion, but that's a different rant. So if that is why people come, what's the most likely chain of events to create that situation where people talk about making money and invite their friends? Oh, we're making money, right? So another wave comes. It's not going to be, some updates and releases on Polkadot. That could create current existing people to throw more capital and inject more money into crypto. That could create a bounce, maybe even Bitcoin up to in the 50Ks. Maybe that's possible. That could be a pretty big rally. It's possible. But to make all-time highs and to get back into a bull market, what's the most logical? Down. It's more likely people capitulate. And then when a bottom's in and people begin buying and said, wow, this is low enough, those people who have been DCAing and waiting, being patient for key places to pick up altcoins, they talk about then how much money they've made. And those are the people who were wise enough to be not bullish, so wise enough to be bearish right now. They waited on Tether. They're the first ones to make money, while the vast majority of people still in crypto had lost money that whole time, right? And then the people who lost money, who went away and they're depressed, not looking at crypto, they realize, hey, it's back up almost to the point where I was, dollar cost averaging. I'm not at a loss. They get back interested. Okay, so a little bit more money is injected. And then when the market goes up a little bit, tiny bit more, this is still Ethereum under 4K, all this happening, right? And then the market starts recovering. Then people start making money. And then that's what brings a new wave of retail. But in order for that to happen, the key ingredient in that chain of events to get a new wave of blood, so prices can go up at these large market caps, it has to go down first. I don't see any other possible logical thing outside of Bitcoin adoption. I think that's the only way this is saved. If something like Turkey, the lira fails, and they announce, even though I think they're anti-crypto, though, I don't think that would be awesome if the people just said, screw you, government, and we're using Bitcoin. But but I don't think that's more likely. I think it's more likely that downward price action on major altcoins or across altcoins, even Ethereum, not necessarily Bitcoin, is what is going to create that chain of events to then lead another wave of crypto buyers that weren't here this time. So there's more money and market caps can get bigger. It's the most logical thing, folks. All right. And I'm trying to show you this in the charts. It makes sense from a logical, just a thought experiment standpoint, right? It makes sense from a charting standpoint. All the things showing you that, downside is very likely and months of downside, right? And it's all aligning. And the reason why it's saying that in the charts is because that's what's happening within not just the thought experiment, but that's what's happening out there in the world. There is not enough money to keep these large caps going. And once people realize that, the first group who are least stubborn are going to sell. And then the next group of least stubborn altcoin holders are going to sell. And that builds and builds and builds snowballs and capitulation. And that is the key ingredient, all right, on what's then would lead to people making money and attract a new wave of crypto folks back, right? That's that. I'm telling you, I think this is going to take several months. Now, do I think this is going to be bear market like all 2018, 2019, 2020? No, I honestly don't think it'll take that long. I think it'll be more like a 2019, 2020 just by themselves, just a big, massive, choppy range, which is why I have the mega range. So let's go back to this, right? let's go back to this. And I think that it's just going to be more, just watch. I don't think it's necessarily going to be, a 3-year bear market like the last two. I think it's just going to look like this. Something like this. And that is late summer. I'm actually thinking more September, but that's a long time. And what does that look like? Look, 2019, 2020. Look, I think that's what we're looking at. So I don't think it's necessarily like this. I think it's going to be more like this. And in this mega range here, you hit the bottom, right? It has the bottom moon hit once, yes. Okay, so you had essentially, let's say the bottom here. So you hit bottom and then coronavirus hit, close at the same. So you hit it twice. So I would assume it's going to hit it a second time. And it's not necessarily a full-on, bear market capitulation necessarily, but, oftentimes with other altcoins, maybe outside of Ethereum, because I don't consider Ethereum an altcoin anymore. I think it's proven itself. I think it actually has billions of dollars of revenue, unlike other projects out there who have a market cap in the billions. But so I think outside of Ethereum, altcoins could have a capitulation while Ethereum and Bitcoin stay in their mega range. It could get really ugly. And so there's going to be a bleed, and Ethereum is going to lead that bleed, but not bleed as much, almost like Bitcoin won't bleed as much. I think that's about what's ready to happen, folks. So I need you to prepare for it. Consider it a strong possibility, even if you don't like my assessment, you think I'm totally wrong. And that's fine. It could be wrong. But I need you to consider this. And keep yourself safe and inform your expectations wisely, which is what I said all throughout all December. And you see what's happened. I was warning everybody in December, right? Okay. So this is the expectation. So watch this video right here if you want to see why this carnage and the sideways movement could easily last until September of this year, and things won't get hot until roughly September. Watch this video right here, my latest Bitcoin video, to see why Bitcoin in and of itself as a chart also makes sense within what I just said on Ethereum. And if you're new to my channel, click the circle here, subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. You just got 𝘾𝐤𝐻�10 worldwide. Peace.